Hello. We're going to begin a class on lighting today. Actually, you already have downloaded the material, I suppose. And I will very quickly explain the very basics about lighting. Suppose that this is one room. Actually, you would not have all these in one room, but this is to make you understand how it works. You usually would have a few types of lighting. Let me begin by the ambient lighting, which creates the mood of a room. It's one of the best way of doing it is doing cove light. Cove light is a light that is concealed, and this is an example of a cove light. In this case, a part of the ceiling is lowered to create the space in which you put fluorescent tubes like this one. So you don't see them, but you can get the effect of the lighting. And the light goes this way, and it would be returning way down as it hits the ceiling. This is one type where we lower the part of the ceiling. And at the other end, we have just the opposite of it. We raise a small part of the ceiling, and then we hide the fluorescent tubes right there. So these are, nowadays you can have these in LED as well. So they cast their light over to the wall, they kind of wash in the wall, and that light would return to us this way. It's a soft light that was returning back. So this is what is known as cove light. It's a hidden light system. You have seen quite a few here and there. Then you have directional light. As opposed to this, the cove lights are diffuse. They have no direction, which means they don't really create shadows. And then we have directional lights, which have a direction. And these lights usually would cast light down and on the objects, and they would be creating shadows, basically. So depending on what effect you want to get, you do that. So these are, like in this case, they are recessed. They are embedded into the ceiling. And we're talking about the light fixture and the light types. We're not talking about the bulbs yet. The fluorescent tube is a bulb, but the concealed is a light category, a type of lighting. And then you would have another type, which is the brackets or sconces. British people would more speak about brackets, whereas the American would talk about sconces, and I believe most people in Japan use the word bracket for that. These are directional lights, and they are focused for illuminating, for example, painting. Like in this case, if you have a piece of painting on the wall, so you can have the bracket that sticks out, and it casts the light over to your painting. And on the other side, this one goes to the ceiling and brings the light back way down into the room in a more soft fashion. Then you have the chandelier, which is part of decorative lighting, and this actually is bringing in an accent. We have one right here in front of me, and you could probably see a bit of that. It's just above my working space. And then we would have this independent light. It's a light that hangs from the ceiling way down, and they're very much used in kitchens, on the worktop of the kitchen. They would be also pretty much used above the dining room or any other piece of decoration that you want to um, um, put into highlight. It could be at the end of soul. They're used that way. And you have also ceiling lights. Ceiling lights are usually lights that would be appended into the ceiling. And you have seen many of these in most Japanese houses. Typically, they would be in the center of the room, and they cast their light way down to either the table or any one of those similar stuffs. This is how you get them. So after seeing these very basic light types, then I would want to run quickly into the slides, showing you examples of these lighting fixtures. And upon the finishing the explanation, which will be the end of the class today, you will be using these examples in your own presentation. And I'll be speaking a bit in detail about what you need to do in terms of presentation. So now we're going to go over to the slides on my computer, which is based on the material that you already have.